Guys, I'm at a genuine loss. This movie isn't bad enough to have anything to talk about, and it's not good enough to have anything to talk about. It's just... it's just frustrating. It's a missed opportunity. Anyway, I'll give it the old college try anyway. Hey everyone, it's me, Grant the Movie and TV Guy. People are not going to be happy with this one. I promise you, I'm not this hard on everything. It's just that these movies are on a curve. The good ones are really good. The bad ones, which are the majority, are really bad. And then there's movies like this. So, yeah. Well, hey everybody, welcome to Raise on Popcorn with Grant. It's Grant, the movie and TV guy. Tonight we are here to talk about a movie. Movies and TV, that's what we do here. And that movie is Unsung Hero. Unsung Hero is the latest faith-based film from Kingdom Story Company, and honestly, I think their weakest effort, because the majority of their efforts are actually pretty good. It's directed by Richard Ramsey and Joel Smallbone. It also is written by Richard Ramsey and Joel Smallbone. It's produced by Joel and Luke Smallbone. It stars Joel Smallbone, and it is about Joel and Luke Smallbone and their family. Yeah. So it's a straight outta Compton situation. He's playing his own father. So what is the film about? Well, it centers on the Smallbone family. They are a family from Australia who, in 1991, find themselves coming to the United States for opportunities. Dear old dad David, played by Joel Smallbone, is struggling for work and decides to find opportunities in the U.S. And it's about their ups and downs and their faith, and not a lot of substance happens. And then eventually the kids of this family will go on to be mega selling Christian rock stars, and this is the story. And if you think that, Grant, there's not enough for a feature film here, but maybe a nice 30-minute documentary segment, you're absolutely right. So yeah, let the journey begin. So I'm going to start with the positives, because there are positives. This is not a bad film. I didn't hate this film. But I didn't really like this film. Okay, I'm going to be real about it. First thing is first, the performances generally are good. I want to single out a couple of performances that I think particularly stand out. I think Joel Smallbone he's fine. His character is a little bit underwritten. The heart and soul to me of this movie are Daisy Betts, I hope I'm saying the name correctly, who plays Helen Smallbone, the family matriarch. It's really her story. And then Rebecca Smallbone, who would go on to become Rebecca St. James, the country superstar, or the Christian superstar, rather, who is played by young lady. I'm going to butcher your name. I apologize. Carilli Berger? Is that Carilli Berger? I think that is how you pronounce that. If I'm wrong, be sure to let me know. But who's Rebecca? They're really good, and I think that a lot of the heart and soul of this movie is the Helen character and her relationship with her daughter. I think that is a big factor in what works about this movie, including the ending. And I'm not going to say what the ending is, but the ending kind of takes this alone, kind of just barely inches this out of a negative recommendation, just on that basis. It's mostly well shot. It's not hateful. The casting of Candace Cameron Bure, who also is an executive producer, is a little bit strange, but because she's not the nicest person in real life. But overall, the movie's not hateful. It doesn't have some agenda. It's not aggressively preachy, I guess. And then we get to everything else. The biggest issue with Unsung Hero is that despite all of those qualities, and it is a well-intentioned and warm-hearted movie, that I think people who go in, who are fans of this group, and who already know they're going to like it, they're going to get what they came to see. Absolutely. As someone who is new to this group and their story, what I took away from this movie is the Smallbones seem like a wonderful family. Joel Smallbone seems, I'm sure, like a pretty genuine guy. And this movie, the biggest issue with this film, however, is that it's fundamentally empty. This is not a feature film. There is not enough here. There's not enough there. I have this suspicion that Joel Smallbone and his family were so close to their own story that they couldn't see the forest for the trees. They were so afraid to put meat on the bone that could make it a substantial film. And so what we're left with is a movie that is sort of has this process that it goes through, where it's a movie about struggle and overcoming adversity, where there's really no substantial struggle or adversity to overcome. So what they do is essentially have very, very repetitive scenes with only slight variation of conflict approaching, and then prayer, and then stuff, good things and good fortune just magically happening. I said this to a friend of mine, and I said, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it's only a little bit, and that's what's so weird about this. This is a rags to riches story. This is the rags to riches story, the equivalent of a story about a family who has to, due to dwindling funds, has to go without dinner for one night, prays, and the next morning win the lottery. It's that kind of movie. So in order to make a movie happen, they manufacture conflicts that are non-conflicts. There's a character in this film named Jed, played by Lucas Black, who is sort of this really, really kind neighbor, who sort of, it just seems like a genuinely nice guy. And it's him and his wife, played by Candace Cameron, who, her character seems fine. Candace Cameron isn't, but nor is her brother. But they seem fine. But in the context of how the characters are written, they seem like perfectly nice people. A little bit too aw shucks, but they seem, they're like their heart is in the right place. So what happens is that the dad has to sort of be, the dad's stubbornness is what creates conflicts in this movie. It's all him. There's really no reason to sustain this movie for almost 2 hours, other than the fact that the dad is refusing help. The dad is refusing, and the mom has to and the people around him have to encourage him until he finally is convinced. That's kind of this whole movie. And there's a lot of wink, wink, nudge, nudge references for fans of this group, particularly in the portrayals of Joel and Luke as child characters in this. But it's just kind of, considering that this is the same filmmakers who made, I think, maybe the best faith-based movie in this sort of decade-long onslaught with their last film, Ordinary Angels, which was a film that was a film of faith that was a movie. It was substantial, it had character, it had emotional depth, it had humor, it had life, it had meat. There was stakes to that movie. It was life and death. This movie just feels empty. It's hollow. There's nothing. Yes, they seem like a perfectly nice family. Yes, the mother is a wonderful person. And that's kind of what the movie's about, is that she's the titular unsung hero. But to get to that, you have to sort of slog through a movie that doesn't have a plot that is worthy of the feature-length treatment. And so you're just sitting there kind of exhausted by it, because you're just sitting there seeing a lot of this stuff repeat itself until they get to that sort of touching ending. That is also effectively hurt by the fact that it doesn't feel earned, because everything that happens is so wishy-washy that you can't attach yourself to it. There's just something inherently removed about it. And I can't really quite describe it. There's just something really detached about everything, the audience and the characters in this film. And it made me not really like the film very much, because I felt like, man, you have good elements here, but it's just, they're not firing. They're working themselves up, and then they go nowhere. There's just no real... I think the Smallbones are an interesting family. I think that they are probably a wonderful, very nice group of people, but their story is not... their story is the epitome of, not every story, no matter how inspiring, is necessarily worthy of feature-length treatment. And I think this is a case of a movie that has really nothing to go on to sustain a feature film. It just doesn't. There's nothing here that made me think, wow, this needed to be a movie. This could have easily been like a 60-minute segment or something. There's no reason this needed to be an hour 55 long movie. That being said, it is pleasant enough. It's well-intentioned. It's not... I was never necessarily angry watching it. It was watchable. But it just... It was a missed opportunity to tell kind of a really good take on this story, and it felt... And there's also surprisingly little music. Considering this is a movie about what I'm guessing is the biggest Christian rock group, or one of the biggest in the world, there's surprisingly little music. There's not a lot. And it just, the whole thing felt like a missed opportunity to really make a substantial film here. And that sucks, because this had potential. I thought this looked honestly kind of decent, and it kind of wasn't. Wasn't terrible. It was just kind of, yeah, that's a movie, I guess. And I'm going to probably forget most of it by the time, unlike Ordinary Angels, I'm going to forget most of this by the time this feed is done. It's just, yeah, it was a movie. 2.5 stars. It's right in the middle. There are things in it that work. It's not a terrible movie, and I think that it's a 2-star movie that is bumped to 2.5 by the virtue of its ending. I do think the ending elevates what little good qualities that came before for me to go, okay, low rental, just kind of like just on the borderline. But that's it. Like there's no reason to rush out to see this in a movie theater, especially on a weekend when you have better movies out and consistently better movies. Along with the fact that you're in a weekend that also has Challengers and Boy Kills World, and if you want something faith-based, Cabrini's still out there some places. Ordinary Angels is, streaming by now. Like, there are better options that are new movies than Unsung Hero. There just are. So, yeah, it's just not worth anybody's time unless you're already fans of this group. Or you're just anything relatively churchy is immediately an A+ for you. It's just the way it is. So yeah, 2.5 stars. I hate to be that guy, but I didn't like it very much. I just thought that it was a missed opportunity. All right, sorry. I didn't hate it though. I didn't hate it. I thought it was fine. It's just kind of like, trailer trash. Let's talk some trailer trash. 2.5 stars was the book on it. So, The Forge. Okay, first and foremost, this is a newer trailer, and if the original trailer didn't convince me, this sure did. This movie looks racist as fuck. Kid show, right, but you should know by now that this is not for children. But here's the thing that blew my mind. So it's a Kendrick Brothers production. I saw that a lot of the actors from their previous works were there, including a certain actress from a certain movie that has become sort of notorious as a bad movie for yours truly, which is War Room. The character of Miss Clara, but I thought it was the actress playing a new character. And then there's a scene in the trailer where she goes into like a nail salon, and the ladies are like, "Oh, hey there, Miss Clara," and I was like, "Wait a second, is this a sequel to War?" I immediately texted Brad Jones. I'm like, "Dude, it's a sequel to War Room." It's a sequel to War Room. I thought The Devil Done Got Its Butt Kicked, but I guess we're doing this some more. So I'm almost a little bit excited to see this as a bad movie, just because it's technically in the same universe, which is kind of great. But anyway, Inside Out 2, talked about it, looks good. Sight, talked about it, looks good. Despicable Me 4, talked about it, looks good. If, talked about it, looks good. My Penguin Friend, this is a film starring Jean Reno, of all people. It looked cute. It looked like just another inspirational, animal movie. But it looked cute enough. White Bird. This is the sequel of sorts to Wonder that I guess now is finally coming out. I thought it was going to come out like 2 years ago. This movie's been delayed a lot. And it looks good. The original Wonder I loved. It made my best films of 2017. This doesn't look quite as good, but it looks interesting. And Helen Mirren, Helen Mirren's getting her bread. Good for her. She's a terrific actress. But yeah, it looks fine. I'll see it. Yeah. I don't quite understand why we're centering the sequel story on the kid who tortured Jacob Tremblay pretty much psychologically pretty much the entirety of the movie Wonder. I understand that the moral of this movie is him learning to not have hate in his heart toward other people that are different. I get it, but it's just kind of like, why is he the focus? Anyway, why not make the sister the focus? Anyway, that being said, so yeah, yeah, it looks good. And then, was there from a guest? There are footage and other footage during and after the credits of this one. So if you're already there, might as well stick around for it. All right, that's it. We'll be back late tomorrow, for a retro review of Alien, which is back in theaters for its 45th anniversary. And Monday, we'll have a review of The Mummy, which is back in theaters for its 25th anniversary. And then next week, we have reviews of The Idea View, Turtles All the Way Down, The Fall Guy, Tarot, and more to come. That'll all be next time. And until next time, I'm Grant, the movie and TV guy. I see it all, and I'm happy to share it with you. I love you all. I appreciate you all. I love you all, classmates. I love you 3000. Be kind to one another. If you like this video, give it a like if you want to. Give it a subscribe if you want to. Give it the bell. I don't know what it does. That's what you're supposed to do, or so I've been told. Leave a comment, even if it's, "Hey, Grant, I like waffles." It really helps out. If you want to find me elsewhere, reviews, lists, and other fun stuff, you can find me on all my social media. I'm on literally everything at either Raised on Popcorn with Grant or Raised on Popcorn. Take care of yourself. Take care of your mental health. It's incredibly important. And I want to know down below, what did you think of Unsung Hero? Did you like the movie? Did you hate the movie? Think my opinion's good? Think I'm full of shit? Comment below. Let me know. And until we meet again, we're all Raised on Popcorn. Make my life extra better. Catch you guys next time. Take care, everyone. See you around. Bye.